Hi, it's Bev again with another video. Bev, your favorite author. I hope you've bought my book, Are You Fat Making or Calorie Burning? If you're anything like me, you're curious about your body. You want to know not only just how to change it, but why it changes. So, I have a physics degree, right? Some of you know that. So when you lift weights, it really is biomechanics. It has a lot of physics in it. And so I thought maybe we would talk about push-ups, right? There are many different ways to do push-ups, and they affect how hard they are, how much body weight you're actually pushing up. So let's talk about that in terms of physics, okay? So the first thing is the traditional or conventional push-ups, okay, where you've got your hands and your feet on the floor. So what we're going to talk about here is something called leverage. And a lever can reduce the amount of force that is needed to lift something. So, I mean, you can think of a wheelbarrow, right? The wheel on a wheelbarrow is the pivot point, and it gives you, because of the leverage, an advantage, right? You want to move 100 pounds, you throw it in the wheelbarrow and you can push it around all day. So here's your body doing a more conventional push-up, right? Your hands are on the floor, your feet on the floor, and your feet, that's the pivot point, right? So your body is going up and down, and your feet are the pivot point about which that movement occurs. Now, there is a center of mass, right, for your body, but the leverage, the lever, is from the foot or the pivot point to the center of mass. Now, when you use a traditional push-up, you will be lifting a pretty good percentage of your weight, okay? You're going to be lifting between 55 and 65% of your weight. Now, the reason there's a bit of a range is that at the top of the movement, you're not you don't have to deal with as much weight. You're 55. At the lower part, when you come down before you push up, you're actually sitting at 65% of your weight. So if you want to hold for a second, we talk about tempo, then hold at the bottom of the movement for 1 or 2 seconds, then do another push-up, okay? Now, if we take the traditional push-up, we can make it more easy, we can make it more difficult. So let's look at how we make it a little bit more easy. And again, it's physics, okay? So if you move the weight farther from your hands, then you're going to be pushing much less body weight. It can be anywhere from 10 to 40%. So what happens is, this is a wall. You can use a wall, a bench, whatever. What happens is, when you've got your hands above your feet, you are actually making the center of mass move closer to the pivot point, or to your feet. So the lever is shorter. So, this is great, right? And the closer your feet are to the wall, the less body weight you actually have to move. And you know that. If you're standing close, it's not, right? You can get as low as 10%. Now, some people do these, they're easy if you do them on your knees as well, but that's slightly different mechanics. Doing them on your knees is closer to 35, 40%, okay? Now, how do we make it harder? Well, let's think about all this leverage business again. And what we want to do is move the weight in a different direction, okay? So over here, we move the weight farther from your hands. Here, we're going to move it closer to your hands and farther from the pivot point, right? So the feet are up on something. It can be a bench, it can be a barbell, on a squat rack, whatever. And your head is down below. Your hands are on the ground, your feet are up above. So this puts the center of mass closer to your hands. Here, you moved it farther from your hands. Here, you're moving it closer to your hands. Here, you're moving it farther away from the pivot point, and here you were moving it closer to the pivot point. So this is a lot more difficult, and you're going to get between 75 and 80% of your body weight that you're pushing. Now, I should say, if you've got your feet up about 2 feet, then you're going to get, at least 75% of your body weight. But the interesting thing is if you move your feet up to 4 feet, move it up really high using a barbell or whatever, you can get as high as 80%. Now, it's only a 5% climb, even though you've doubled the height. So it's not necessarily a ratio that's 1-to-1, right? So, again, it's all physics, okay? So it's the length of the lever. So if you shorten the lever or if you lengthen the lever, you can make it easier or more difficult. So I hope this has helped you, and have fun. See you in the next video. And don't forget to buy my book, okay? Bye-bye.